Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. Let's start today's video off with a small recap of the 2024 Pittsburgh Pro guest posing. I already covered the guest posing, but at that time we did not have HD videos of all of the athletes. Now, since we have the HD videos, let's talk a little bit more in depth, starting with Mr. Olympia Derek Lunsford. Now, when I made the initial video talking about the Pittsburgh Pro, I was saying I was probably most impressed with Nick Walker. To be fair, I'm not really sure why I said that at that time. Derek Lunsford was by far the best guy at this guest posing, at least for me. I guess that I'm so used to covering bodybuilding shows, I looked at Nick and I was like, he's big and he has the best conditioning, but that wasn't a bodybuilding show. This was a guest posing. And I definitely think that Derek stole the show. We're looking at the current Mr. Olympia, and this guy has definitely made improvements. And honestly, it's the off season, so Derek looks a little bit bigger everywhere except the chest, which is pretty much the only area that I can really critique. But I was most impressed by the quads, the density of the legs of Derek Lunsford in this off season. And I'm just hopeful that he's able to maintain this size as he dies down for this year's Olympia. But the current reigning Mr. Olympia is looking improved. Everyone is in trouble. And in the next update of the day, we have a recent back double bicep update from the mutant Nick Walker, who looks incredible. But to go along with this image, I'm pretty sure this caption was made by Matt Jansen, and I'm gonna read it to you guys. I think Matt made these comments because after the Pittsburgh Pro guest posing, a lot of people were commenting saying that Nick Walker pretty much had a bubble gut at the show. But I'm gonna go ahead and read this for you guys. I want to put some things into perspective for those of you who might not understand bodybuilding at a high level. Nick and I prepare for competition. We do our process and everything is planned for the day that it actually matters. I remember this same thing happened in 2019 at weigh-ins for USA's. Everyone freaked out saying he wasn't ready, not in shape. 24 hours later, he shocked everyone. We came second at the show, but the praise about his peak was resounding. This Saturday, we stayed on our plan. There was no peaking for the guest posing. He was up at 5:30, did cardio, traveled 5.5 hours to Pittsburgh. Saturday night, he stepped on stage with no training, no pump, 5 meals and 7 liters of water at 8 p.m. at night. A 270-pound body under the stress of travel. Regardless of how stress-free it is, the body is under stress doing that and is going to hold water. He did this for you guys, the fans, to promote the IFBB and to support the organization we are thankful to be a part of, not for validation of his current look. So I guess Matt is basically saying it's pretty much disrespectful that everyone was coming at Nick saying he has a bubble gut and really just judging his current look, whereas Nick really just did the guest posing for the fans and didn't necessarily have to do it in 1 week out. And everything that Matt is saying about how Nick looked at the guest posing, I think he's basically saying Nick isn't going to look like this at the New York Pro. Don't take this too serious, which is pretty much what I said in my wrap-up video following the guest posing initially. And Matt also shared a comparison of Nick Walker's real last spread from 2022 versus this past Pittsburgh Pro guest posing, and Nick has definitely made significant improvements. And as far as how Nick looked at the guest posing, people saying Nick had a bubble gut, I don't think that will be an issue for him at the New York Pro. And I said this on a recent podcast. I believe Nick Walker is just under a bigger microscope. No offense, but I think we can also take guys like Samson, Nathan, even Hunter, and we can take bad screenshots of them and say they have a bubble gut, but people just typically don't do it. It's typically only around Nick Walker. Even if Nick Walker hits a back double, someone will zoom in on the mirror in the background at his gut, but let me know in the comment section below your guys' thoughts about all of this. Now let's switch over to Hunter Labrada, who we did not talk much about initially after the guest posing, and I'm a little bit late, but credit to Gilco Productions for all of these incredible videos. But I do think Hunter looked incredible at this guest posing, and he is currently over 300 pounds. I think it somewhat got overlooked because we had so many good guys on stage. But last year at the Tampa Pro, we saw the best Hunter we've ever seen, and at this point, Hunter looks better than he did this time last year. I don't have any reason to think that we're not going to see another best version of Hunter Labrada this year. And let's switch over to Andrew Jacked. I did want to talk a little bit about the man, the myth, the Mona Lisa. Andrew was the only one at this guest posing that actually did somewhat of a posing routine. And reading my comments following the initial video, most of you guys were saying that Andrew stole the show. Andrew was the most impressive guy on stage, which I thought was very, very interesting. From the perspective that Andrew is a guy that's over 6 foot tall, over 300 pounds, and has great shape, very, very impressive. But just being transparent with you guys, I wasn't really overly impressed by Andrew at this guest posing. His arms looked incredible, and we even have some people speculating that something suspicious may be going on, but outside of that, Andrew is definitely bigger, but nothing really jumps out to me as massive improvements. And I love the fact that Andrew came out and actually did somewhat of a posing routine, but to be honest, Andrew still needs a lot of work on how to execute these poses properly. Even this side chest pose, I think, could use some tweaking as far as execution. But it's the off season. A lot of these guys were just hitting the poses pretty fast. And nothing against Andrew, of course, but I was just confused on a lot of people saying that Andrew was the standout. He was the #1 guy from this guest posing. So to the people that said that, do you guys think Andrew is going to win this year's Olympia? He's going to beat Derek and Hadi and Nick. Is he looking that impressive at this guest posing? Because when Derek was impressive at the guest posing, we all thought he was going to come in and win the Mr. Olympia. Just curious. And let's switch over to the Persian Wolf, Hadi Choopan, who recently posted up an update. And in the caption of this post, Hadi said 5% ready. So I would assume he's about 5% to where he wants to be for this year's Mr. Olympia. And I do believe Hadi lost a little bit of size when he took the time off or decided to run very low doses. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys think? My only concern about Hadi going into this year's Olympia is Hadi did 2 shows. He also had to take a decent amount of time off, and I believe he lost a little bit of size. He's going to be going up against Derek Lunsford. And as we seen at Pittsburgh, Derek isn't at 5%. Derek is absolutely full blown right now. But we still have multiple months to go into the Mr. Olympia, and I'm pretty sure Hadi Choopan will be fine. But all I'm saying is Derek did not do 2 shows and have to take a little bit of time off. Derek has been pushing probably since January or February. Now in the next update of the day, we have a recent update from Rafael Brandão at 21 weeks out from this year's Mr. Olympia. Rafa is qualified by winning the Arnold Classic South America. But this year will be Rafa's second Mr. Olympia competition. He placed 10th in his debut, actually edging out Michael Krizo. So going into this year's show, I would say Rafa is projected to be right outside of their top 6. He has beat Michael Krizo as well as Tonio Burton, who were 7th and 8th last year. Let me know in the comment section below, do you guys think that Rafa has a realistic chance of placing top 6 at this year's Mr. Olympia? Again, he has placed ahead of Krizo and Tonio, who are currently 7th and 8th in the world, respectively. And let's switch over to Nathan DeAsha, who recently posted up some updates. And Nathan is currently sitting at 270 pounds. And take a look at the size of the quads on this guy. And we should be seeing Nathan at the Dubai Pro, but he's also doing the Italy Pro before that. And Italy is after the M-Pro Classic. So I think it's possible we could see Beirut, Tabani, Bonek, or even Michael Krizo at the Italy show, but no promises. Nathan DeAsha is quite possibly at his best right now though, working with Boss of Outlaw. I'm excited to see what he brings to the stage. Now let's switch over to 212. We have an update from our current reigning Olympia champion, Keone Pearson. And Keone is looking very impressive right now. Take a look at the deep separation he has in the side leg, and Keone is currently in the offseason. And it's almost not fair for the other guys in the 212 division. Keone pretty much looks like an open guy, but once he hops on the scale, he's under 212. And I know some people may be wondering, is Keone going up to open? Keone has told me numerous times the main focus is retaining his 212 Olympia title. Now let's switch over to Classic Physique. We have a recent update from Stephane Matala. Patrick Tours said that Stephane is about 8 weeks into prep and is down 27 pounds, which is just ridiculous. Patrick also said the only thing that is getting smaller is his waist. So I guess Patrick said he's doing a good job of maintaining most of the muscle and he's just dropping fat and water. To me personally, Stephane definitely looks a little bit smaller and already looks like he's lost a little bit of muscle, but it's really sad that we have to pretty much watch him just strip off muscle to make weight for the Classic Physique division. But Let me know what you guys think about Stephane. Great physique. Now let's go ahead and wrap up today's video here with the archive of the day. You guys let me know in the comment section below, who is this legendary bodybuilder? And as always, I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video. And if you have not done so already, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, I recently did a podcast with Project Bodybuilding. I will link it somewhere at the end of this video. Be sure to go check that out and let me know what you guys think. If you guys like it, I may hop on more podcasts in the future. I'm Krishan from GOAT Fitness, and that's it. I'm out.